Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that I'm pretty old? And I'll tell you why I'm old. There's a band named Milli Vanilli, and they came out around 1989, 1990, and I'm obsessed with them. And a lot of you guys don't know who Milli Vanilli is. They were a laughing stock, a joke, and I used to participate in that joke. And you know what? I watched a documentary about Milli Vanilli. I think it was on, was it on HBO Max or Showtime? Can't remember. I can't remember. I have too many streaming subs. But it showed that these are innocent guys. They got sucked into this corporate monster who used them, and they were kind of innocent, though they did lose their mind. They did lose their mind. Here's how I know the two guys, and I'm going to make a video on this, probably not on this channel, probably for my instructional channel for my college. I got to do this video on Milli Vanilli. My favorite part of the documentary, God bless you, one guy, he passed away from a drug addiction. But I knew they lost their mind because for those of you who don't know the story, they didn't sing the songs. They acted like they were doing it. It was like a lip sync situation. But they believed that they were singing it at one point. They completely lost their mind. And as many of you know, I'm a watch addict. I'm a watch obsessive. And I have a question about losing your mind in the realm of watch obsession. I've been thinking, if I had unlimited sources to feed my watch obsession, I'd probably have 10 Panerai, 10 Rolex, 10 Omega, 10 Grand Seiko, 10 SLA Seikos. And rather than be happy, I'm pretty sure I'd be really anxious and really paranoid, and I would probably completely lose my mind. And this is not an original idea. I've been thinking about this notion of being able to feed your watch obsession with unlimited sources for about 3 months. I was watching a TGV video. It's called I'm Done with Watch Collecting. And he's talking about the process of becoming a connoisseur, which is a word I want to return to. A connoisseur, he says in that video, is someone who's not a watch flexer. He's not into ostentation. He's not into showing off. He's really into establishing his own identity, finding out his own tastes in watches. And he becomes a watch connoisseur. And he says, he works really hard. What does TGV say? I think he works 7 days a week. I assume doing all that content creation, video editing, he's probably working 15 hours a day. And he says, it gives him appreciation for his watches that he works so hard and he saves up for these watches. And he makes a statement that I've been thinking about for about 3 months. He said, if I could buy any watch I want, at the drop of a hat, that would kill the hobby. And it blew my mind because, we all have, we go on YouTube and we see all this watch eye candy. We want 10 Panerais and 10 Grand Seikos and 10 this and 10 that. It would ruin our appreciation. It would ruin our collection. And so I want to answer that question, why would it ruin it? Number one, whimsy and impulse are not the mothers of watch happiness. Whimsy, impulse, caprice, being compulsive, those are not the mothers of watch happiness. I'm sure that if you had all the money to buy whatever watch you want, it would be a drug, it would be an intoxication, it would be a sense of power. And it would be too easy for that sense of power to take over your mental faculties, so that buying and curating watches would become your number one objective. And it would be a priority over your family and your friends. Your relationships would suffer, man. You would be a lonely pariah living in your mansion with 15 treasure chests full of luxury timepieces. I think you would lose your sense of priorities if you got pumped up on the drug of being able to buy whatever you want. Now, eventually, of course, you would go mind numbed. And I'm thinking of something. I've known car salesmen and car lease dealers and guys who drive luxury cars all day long. You know, they're driving them to the garage and they're driving them to customers. And they tell me, they say, yeah, I appreciate nice cars, but it's all kind of boring. And I think I could reach that state, but does that watch happiness? There's a lot of watch YouTubers out there that I admire. And what happens is they get a lot of watches from jewelry stores and stuff, and they're showing these timepieces. I don't know what that would do to my brain. I mean, it would be a learning process. I would appreciate, on one hand, I would appreciate being able to handle and examine all these watches, but I suspect and I fear that it would have a numbing effect on me as well. But whimsy and impulse are not the mothers of watch happiness. Number 2, I think if you had unlimited funds to buy whatever watch you want, I think you'd become paranoid. I think if you had 25 treasure chests full of luxury timepieces, I think you'd be fearful for security. You'd be Pablo Escobar. Living in a mansion, you'd have a crocodile-infested moat, you'd have armed guards, you'd have an elaborate security system with cameras everywhere. You would be a prisoner in your own home. I don't think you'd be happy. I think that would be bound to happen. Now, some of you are right now, you're worried. I apologize. Okay. Some of you you're going, oh my God, McMahon, you are right. What happens if I get rich? I'll lose my mind. Let me tell you something. Do not worry about getting rich right now. You got other things to do your time. Go shop vac your garage, wash your windows, do some earthquake preparedness. Make sure you got provisions in case there's an earthquake. If you do get rich, call me. I can help you out. I've never let you down before, but don't worry about getting too rich. I just don't want that to happen. I think that's ridiculous. So what's the cure? What's the cure for this? I want to quote Branford Marsalis, the jazz musician. He says, there's only freedom in structure, my man. There's no freedom in freedom. What does that mean? What it means is having zero structure, zero boundaries is actually a form of imprisonment. It's not freedom. And I want to bring up a TV show that my wife and I watched 3 years before our daughters were born. We watched a show in 2007. You guys are so young. You probably don't remember the show. You guys probably don't remember Milli Vanilli either. There was a show. It was called Honey, We're Killing the Kids. And what happened is you had these parents and their kids were overweight, and there would be this persnickety doctor. She would show up to the house. She would look inside the refrigerator. Look at this. Ooh, yeah. She'd condemn them for all the larded foods they had. And then she would take the parents into a special room. I'd call it the future room. And there would be this computer monitor. It was a special, it took the image of their kid, he was 6 years old, 8 years old, whatever. And it showed him morphing through time, in his teens, his 20s, his 30s, his 40s. And his face would just get grotesque, elephantine, because of his sugar-laden diet. His teeth would fall out. He had a mullet. Sometimes they'd give him like an earring. I don't know why, like a pierced earring. His eyes would become crossed. And then the doctor would invariably say, and by the age of 52, your child will collapse of a massive heart attack. And the parents, oh my God, I'm killing my children. And it's because, you didn't give your kid any structure my daughters have been eating broccoli every day since they were 4. They're 13 now. People say to me when they see me at Trader Joe's loading all this broccoli in my cart, don't your kids eat other vegetables? I go, I wish they did, but give them what they eat. For some reason, my daughters will eat broccoli. There's not a whole lot of other vegetables they'll eat, but it's crazy how you need structure. And it really gets me back to to TGV's statement, you need to become a connoisseur. You need to develop your own taste, and your collection should be a reflection, of someone you want to be, man. Too often, I get so many guys, man. They DM me on Instagram and stuff. They show me their collections. They're going, "Oh my God, it's a nightmare. I got to get rid of. I got to purge these things." Because it causes stress, and it's because, when you look at a big collection of watches you don't want anymore, it becomes a reflection of your slovenly state. I mean, you want your collection to be tidy and ordered and structured to be happy. You don't want it to be the front yard of the Addams family with all these weeds everywhere. And I swear to God, man, some of you guys, you DM me photos of what I call the Addams family front yard. And you're trying to tidy up the joint, man. It just cracks me up that if we had unlimited sources, it wouldn't solve our watch problem. And, I thank TGV for that, because he brought the question up. Ladies and gentlemen, what's my next watch video going to be about? You guys won't believe this, what I've been thinking about. I got to develop a watch video on this. I want to write about the joy of mid-tier watches. I have some entry-level luxury watches, SLAs, that I love all the watches in my collection. I have no desire to sell any watches in my collection. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm a man-child. And I showed an instructional video of myself to my students yesterday. It's not on this YouTube channel. It's on another YouTube channel. It's educational. And I was wearing a mid-tier watch. Which one is it? The SPB147. It's like a gilt chocolate cappuccino dial Seiko. It's like an $800 watch. And I swear to God, I'm such a man-child. I was wearing one of my SLA watches yesterday in class, far more luxurious, better movement and everything. But as I saw that watch, and there was something about the lighting, it was just perfect lighting to show off the cappuccino dial of that SPB 147. I'm such a man-child. I'm showing this video to my students, and they enjoyed the presentation. They weren't thinking about the watch. All I could think about was that watch. I wanted to rush home, take off my SLA watch. It wasn't this one, it was another one of them. And I love all my SLA watches, don't get me wrong. The first thing I did is I went home and I put that 147 on. There's something about a mid-tier watch that gives me more pleasure than a higher tier. I gotta figure it out why it is. I've been kind of playing with some ideas, like, if you were Jay Leno, you'd have your Rolls Royces and your Bentleys in the garage, but you'd probably take your Nissan Z or your BMW M5 out for a fun, or your Porsche Carrera out for a drive. Maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. But I was trying to figure out, there's something satisfying, deeply satisfying about some of those, those watches are like $900 to $1,000. Just, chef's kiss. I got to figure it out. And don't get me wrong, I love wearing the SLAs. They're fun. But I want to make a video about that in the future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think, man. Do you ever worry about being too rich and losing your mind? Do you ever worry that if you could have unlimited funds to feed your watch obsession, it would just spell your ruin? Let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, I'm out.